手加減なしよ。悪用の力を思い知りなさい。
石煙に葬られよ。空上を焼き尽くす。裁きの雷移
して退却。
てっせっ逃げ道はありません。
三月よ輝け。
聞く価値もない。せ雨上がり、瑠璃が月を映す。行けさやはは 払い清めましょう。
そこ生きて今宵月を去っ
洞察と知恵が律令を生め。やっ行け。
移して三月よ輝く。
片付けましょう。価格守りし先行よ。来たれ。行け。
せ星と深淵を目指せ。無事今日の依頼星と深淵を この同点も同点について
つれづれなるままにひくらしすずりに。
Okay, now let's actually swap out of my friendship team to be a team that can actually fight. I don't know, like, against the eventual fight against Doctor, maybe Nephro team would be fine. This is just a generically good team. It's just powerful, has a lot of movement options, has a shield, has a healer. And it has a variety of elements. So no matter if they're immune to anything, I don't have to worry too much. Okay, so on for 13 minutes. Cool. Plenty of time to at least finish the first act. Because there's 2 acts of the Archon Quest released this patch. I think it was Act 11 and 12. I think something like that. And I don't think I've even finished Act 11. So, hopefully I'll be able to finish that today.
コレイが秘密を知られてもいいなら、私はニコさん、気遣ってくれてありがとう。正直。
大切な友達。
Oh, she gonna...
いい響きだね。
Wait, when she was cured of Eleazar, did she not know she had Eleazar? Is that the whole thing? Because I mean, it was a sickness that had to do with the Ermin soul, and when we cleansed the corruption, it did change a lot of stuff. Where Nahida was no longer regarded as the lesser Lord Kusanali, but just as the Dendro Archon. So it kind of like expunged the previous Dendro Archon out of existence, and there was only ever Nahida, or something like that. It's hard to tell because we never really went too much into detail about it. Like, we never really like did a huge comparison of like what was it like before or after and stuff like that. The fact that we can remember the Akasha terminals means that those still remained in people's memories. So I guess it went from Nahida being trapped within the terminal control center to manage it to her choosing to do so, maybe. I mean, maybe on some degree she did agree and just go along with them. But either way. But she had Eleazar, and that was a whole thing. In fact, there was a little comic where that showed Amber meeting Cole when she was like all covered in bandages and shit, presumably. And she was like, and her Eleazar was something like that Doctor had experimented on with her. Now, I always kind of assumed that maybe he gave it to her. Okay. But I guess it could have been the other way around. It could have been that he was actually experimenting on her because her Eleazar gave her a stronger... Her Eleazar might have been a symptom of a stronger than normal sensitivity to the Ermin soul. And that's why she was corrupted by it. is because the Irminsul was partially corrupted, and her oversensitivity to it led her to also get corrupted by that same corruption, which is just called Eleazar. So the question, of course, is that, well, if we cleanse the corruption, did she forget she had it? You know?
自分の体内に魔人の残滓があることを知ってる。
Oh, okay. No, she is aware of it. Okay, cool.
マリン病にかかって、
Cool, cool, cool.
それがどうしても
Okay, so
治らなくて
she is aware of that. I was wondering if she is like, does she not remember? So God remains inside of her. Interesting. So is that what Eleazar was? It was the buildup of God. God remains in someone. I thought it was just her over. Although actually, maybe that's why she's overly sensitive to the Irminsul, is because of the God remains. So maybe she had. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, is it? Was she just born with that, which gave her an oversensitivity to the Irminsul, and made her? And I guess the question is, what gave her Eleazar? Right? Is it the God remains inside of her? That was it. Just having the God remains inside her caused Eleazar, or did the God remains inside her make her more sensitive to the Irminsul? And that the corruption within the... Because presumably, I thought the whole point was that because we cleansed the Irminsul, she no longer had Eleazar, which made me think that it was her connection to the Irminsul and the corruption of the Irminsul. That corruption from the Irminsul was what was causing her Eleazar.
ファデュイの言葉を信じたお父さんとお母さんが、そこには私みたいな子供がたくさんいて、怖いやつに
Oh, okay, never mind. She wasn't born. Okay, so she was born. So the God remains are not something she was born with, but something she was injected with. Okay. So then it does seem like it's probably the oversensitivity to the Irminsul, which then allowed the corruption of the Irminsul to affect her, which was the disease known as the Eleazar. And so they inject. Now the question, of course, is, like, what are God remains, right? Like, where do you get God remains? I guess the Fatui would have a wide breadth of knowledge, but like, how do you think? So you just like, because it's like, it's kind of like weird, right? Like, oh, we found a God's corpse, so we ground it up, and then just injected it into you. It's like, it's kind of a weird thing to do.
その残滓は家臣ナブマリカッタのものなの。
Oh shit! Like, where did they find that body then?
なるほど。どうして驚かないんだ。
コレイが家臣の詩を読んでジンニーをなだめた時に、もしかしたらって思った。
Oh, that? I always assumed it was Nicole just saying that. And I just assumed it was her sensitivity to the Irminsul, which allowed the words to matter more. But I mean, this does make a lot more sense. Now, the weirder thing is, where did they get the remains of that god, right? Because like we did find the realm of that goddess down below, but it was empty. There was no one there. So were we too late? Did the Fatui get there first and carry away her body? Actually, no, that couldn't be possible because we did that in the present. Because like, they were still skulking around, which means they probably hadn't found what they wanted. But if she was not there, then how did they find the body in the first place? Ages ago, right? Because this is something that they did to Kole ages ago. Years and years ago. So how did they get that body? And to be fair, Dottore is from Sumeru, so it's possible he found it. You know, yeah, he would have had to have found it ages ago too.
たまたま通りかかったのでな。帽子をかぶった女よ。それは確かか？
ただのかけらだからでしょうね。特別な方法で力を引き出さない限り、どんなに近しいものであっても家臣の逝去後、その遺骸は砂漠の各地に散らばったわ。キング・デシェレトはそれを集められるだけ
okay.
永遠のオアシスに埋葬したの。ただ、
Okay, so it's not like there was a body somewhere, and he just like got the body and ground it up. Her remains were already scattered. Now, of course, the weirder thing is that, like, when I think of scattered, I think of like ashes, right? Like you scatter someone's ashes. So then, how the fuck, if your ashes are scattered to the desert, how the fuck would anyone find those fragments, right? You know, like, wouldn't they be like microscopic, like the size of grains of sand? And you're like, yes, I managed to find the grains of sand I wanted from this desert. Like, what? Okay, so it doesn't seem like he probably injected everyone with Eleazar with that specific goddess. It could be that he went around finding multitude of gods, injected a variety of kids with a variety of gods to see, hey, which one can cure this affliction. And so maybe he thought, oh, Goddess of Flowers works because Cole is alive.
時は流れて、ファドゥイがその一部を回収したの。そんなに驚くなんて。でも、これも奇妙な縁というものよ。
なんていうか、この力でみんなの役に立てるのは嬉しい。
人は自身の意志を重んじるものだ。
Well, it's also like the idea is that these are gods that these people worship. This is the goddess of flowers is someone that was widely respected and loved, and now you could almost think it's sacrilegious that you have a piece of her body inside you. Especially like it's one thing if you were just born with it, right? It's like, oh, okay, well then it's a blessing from the gods. But when someone was like, oh yes, one of the asshole Fatui stole the body and injected it into someone for nefarious purposes, it's hard to, treat that calmly and nicely, right? It's like, no, that sounds kind of... But yeah.
その気持ちは俺にもわかる。だが、ああ、確かに心配するな。へっ。
Oh, the Goddess of Flowers had gotten these techniques from Celestia. Interesting. Oh, interesting. So trying to create the ideal world and this golden dream thing where the people's souls wander. So it sounds like he kind of made his own ley lines. His own version of the ley lines.
3度目には受け入れられる。
ティナリ、フォローに感謝する。
Yeah, but that's kind of different though, because like Hermanubis specifically split himself so that he could come back in, other people, right? His goal was to live on amongst his people. Like the Goddess of Flowers' body was just pillaged and injected into random children, or maybe just one random child. Maybe they only had enough fragments just for one, and it was, like I said, one god per child, and so they injected a variety of children with Eleazar with the dead remains of multiple gods to see which one, would allow them to survive. Which is, that is a true scientific experiment. Obviously, you leave one alone with no god, to compare, right? You have one with no god, so you can see the normal progression of the disease, and then you see which child and which of their gods slow down the disease the most.
フォローしたわけじゃないよ。はあ、私はもう行く。
So the question, of course, is that did Cole's survival, like, was she the only one? If she was the only one who survived, then obviously he would think, oh, okay, well, the Goddess of Flowers seems like the best candidate. So then, did he go out and try to find more fragments of her body?
Toにかく俺が言いたいのは、俺がいくらばお前が俺をヘルマヌビスだとは思わないのと同じように。
Well, it's also a huge difference too, right? Because Hermanubis didn't fragment himself into a shitload of pieces, right? He only fragmented himself into a few, with the goal of passing on his knowledge and stuff. Whereas this, you attained a small fragment of the goddess. Like, the goddess's remains were spread across the entire desert. Like, I find it hard to believe that you have any sort of significant portion of that goddess, right? One, she also seemed like a nice person too, so it doesn't seem like she would impose her will on anybody. Two, you probably don't have a big enough chunk of her for it to do anything regardless. And three, the fact that you've lived this long without even knowing that, I mean, means you're probably fine, right?
私が見た夢。
そうよ。彼女の本質は。
Oh, interesting. So she was an angel.
原初の人が作った天の使いなの。たとえ体や魂が崩れ去ろうとも、骨の髄にまで染みた本能が変わることはない。
That's interesting, though, because when Coley heard Nicole's voice in her mind, she recognized it. Although I guess maybe the Goddess of Flowers showed her the dream, and Nicole told her. So it could be the Goddess of Flowers was the one who showed her the dreams, and it was Nicole who told her, please let the Dendro Archon know, right? Not the goddess. Because she did recognize Nicole's voice when we first met. So yeah, that must have been it. And that's how it was split. It wasn't Nicole showing her the dream. It was... And I thought, actually, it was just her connection with the Eleazar, which was an oversensitivity to the Ermin Soul, allowed her to see, to feel the things going on with the Ermin Soul. But it seems like that's not the case. It was actually the Goddess of Flowers interceding and maybe overusing that sensitivity. But... And because she was sensitive, she was able to do that, what she did.
眠りの母、花とオアシスの女主人。彼女はきっと
家臣様が頑張ってくれたんだ。
Oh, the mother of dreams, I see. So that's why...
いや、私たちは
That's interesting.
それを絶対に
Oh, but again, I mean, so her being an angel, then it's very understandable how she knows techniques of Celestia. It's because angels were all created, I guess, by Celestia to do their will and to guide people and stuff. So she would be aware of some things. But she's the mother of dreams, which would explain why they were trying to make the golden slumber. So maybe she helped with... I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm curious. Did she just observe their techniques when creating ley lines and create something like that herself? Are the dreams from the ley lines, or whatever? Maybe we'll figure out more.
そこが不思議なのよね。魔人の残滓を注入されたのはあなただけではなかったのに。
I mean, I think this is a stupid statement to make, right? You weren't the only one injected, yes, sure, but only in you have her fragments persisted. Are you sure? Do you know any of the other children that were injected with the goddess's remains? Do you even know if multiple children... Because as a true scientific experiment, wouldn't the better experiment be to inject a variety of children with a variety of gods to see which god allows them to survive Eleazar? Like, that's how a scientific experiment really would work. Now, obviously, you might inject a few children. It might be like 2 or 3 children per god, right? You could have been Cole and 2 others were injected with the Goddess of Flowers. 3 other children were injected with some other god. 3 other children with another. Obviously, you don't want to just do one child in case something goes wrong. But realistically speaking, in an experiment like that, it seems far more likely that Doctori would have injected children with a variety of gods to observe how that would impact the disease. And regardless, So let's assume that there were others injected with that specific god. Like, you don't know any of them. So how are you able to conclusively say that Cole is the only one who still has them reside in her body, right? If you don't know the other children who also had that same god injected into them, then how can you definitively say that, right? You know, only you? Like, how do you know only she's the one,
も
right?
しかすると苦痛に耐えていた時に見せた強い意志が彼女と同調したのかもしれないわね。
I see. So because she had such a strong will, I don't know, because that would imply that for the other people who were injected with it, they submitted to the will of the goddess of flowers. But I don't see why that would make the goddess of flower. Like, wouldn't the goddess of flower remains be even stronger in the people who submitted to the will of those fragments? You know, because if she has it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's also operating on the assumption that you know what happened to all the other ones, right? Where it's like, I mean, she's an angel, so it's possible she's able to divine that to some degree. But it's also like, you literally just came across Cole. Like, you've never seen her before. It's very unlikely that you were in Snezhnaya when all this shit was going down. Now, you know, being an angel who's lived for so long and being friends with witches, it's very possible that you are aware of these things. But it's also kind of like, you didn't have the time to research. You only just came across her today. Actually, no, I guess technically, she did give a warning to her earlier about the dream. She did warn her about it. So I guess at that point, she might have been aware of Cole, and then she could have done more research, possibly, into the situation. Using, I mean, she knows Barbeloff, who can predict things. So it could be that she used her prediction powers to guesstimate what happened back in the day. Hard to say.
さて、患者のご家族の皆さん。
あ、ここからが計画そのものは申し分ないけど、
君が手掛けた最大のプロジェクトよりも
最大というとアルカサルザライパレスのことか？あれとはまるで桁違いだよ。はあ、頭が痛くなってくる。
前向きに考えたらどうだ。少なくとも今回はスメールが君を必要としている時に
闇か。
Well, also, like, do we need the 7 pillars to give us their approval? Like, first of all, Ophep is considered one of the 7 pillars, but Ophep never actually willingly was part of the 7 pillars. He was just named. Like, Ophep was just given that title. Ophep didn't like it. Ophep hated it. Right? You can even see in Ophep's little thing, the name was devised by King Deshret and the other 6 pillars, and Ophep herself dismissed it with disdain. Ophep didn't give a shit. They just gave her that fucking title with no regard for her will. So, like, she was never actively a part of the 7 pillars. It was just a name, right? So then, like, do you really need the 7 pillars to do this? No, of course not. If you didn't need the 7 pillars to do this project in the first place, because Ophep clearly didn't fucking help, and also, with 3 of them trapped inside, like, what help can they be, right? So at most, it would be the 4 that are out. But again, remember, one of those 4 is Ophep, so that's only 3. Now, we have Lillipar as 1, so... I mean, we have Lillipar on the outside, we have Thoth on the inside. It's possible that's all you need, 1 in the in, 1 in the out, to coordinate whatever you're doing.
あっという間に
みんな自信に満ちていて何よりね。
Okay, so is this the end of chapter 11 yet? Or act 11? Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. This is the end of this act. Oh, as far as on.
ニコさん、さっき
自分で言うのはちょっと恥ずかしいけれど、
妙論派は機械研究が中心なんだけど、実を言うと暇を見つけて彫刻をやってるやつも高い評価を受けてる君の作品をぜひ。
みんな
学者のみんなさ、カシフだ。
そんなに見たいなら。
うわ、どうやってだ。
それによく見ると、
リスが英雄さながら天から舞い降り、大地がその衝撃で
カーベちょっと来てくれ。そうだ。
待ってくれ。今計画を
わしを呼んだか。
このリスの彫像。
ほう、リスか。可愛いというよりかなり写実的じゃな。
英雄？そうかもしれないわね。実は
ふむ、普段から英雄を題材にした小説をよく読むのか？
ええ、素敵な英雄の物語は
ならばこの像はお前が心の奥底。あと英雄といえばやはり空を指さすポーズの方がより勇ましくなるとは思わぬか？中にはベタだとか古臭いなんていうものもおるが、わしはそういった古典的な美しさこそが良いものだと思うぞ。カーベ
すみません先輩。今
残念じゃのう。あやつはなかなかの審美眼を持っておるか。
あなたの発想、まさに天才的ね。どうして思いつかなかったのかしら。
そしてこれはそれからこやつらをそうそう、よくわかっておるのう。
ニコと呼んでちょうだい。
いや、それ。
何か不都合でもあるのか？先輩とは一種の振る舞いであり。ではな、ニコ。この難局を乗り越え、次に会った時には新作を見せてくれ。
What is shit? I don't know what actual stuff. Yeah, because I can't actually hear what she's saying. I don't know what she said when. Did she say Farazan-san or Farazan-chan? If she says Farazan-chan, that's obviously, it's not Madam, really. Like, if it's Madam, it'd probably be San. Or Sama, maybe. Which is more respectful. But then he was rejecting it. So it makes me think she said something. The fact that he was like correcting her, like, wait, no, like, that's a little too much. I guess what I could do. Yeah, because he said, let me just go up closer to my television and listen to it again.
ニコと呼んでちょうだい。ファルザン先輩？
Oh, senpai. Got it. Well, why would that not be right then? I don't get why that wouldn't be right. I mean, obviously it's not right because Nicole is far older. So, if anything, the seniority would have Nicole higher than her. But, like, why would that guy care? Why would he say that's not right, right? Because the dude understands that Farazan is old, right? The dude understands that Farazan is old, and that for most people, she is a senpai, you know? Well, actually, no. I guess maybe the idea is that senpai would imply that they're both students, right? It's not like sensei, right? Maybe the idea is that most people call her Farazan sensei or Farazan shisho to indicate her higher status as a professor, basically. Whereas being called senpai is something usually done between colleagues, but with the difference in seniority, right? The person being called senpai are on the same level, but slightly higher, right? So like you have student, professor, those are two different levels. But even within students, there are like, higher year students type thing. So she's kind of implying that they're both on the same level, but Farazan is a little further down that path, which is obviously wrong on both counts, because Nicole is farther along on the path. because she's much, much older. But, so that could be his objection, though, because he's like, wait. She shouldn't be called senpai, she should be called professor, type thing. Maybe that's where his complaint comes from. But she's fine with it.
実を言うと、私もこういうスタイルの彫像を評価できる人と会うのは久しぶりなの。さすが先輩。それに人を見る目も正確ね。確かに私は英雄の物語。
英雄を見守るじゃと。
ファルザン先輩にはニコさんが何者なのかまだ教えない方が良さそうだ。
そうだね。二人の。
Or maybe that was his complaint. His complaint was that that Nicole was calling her. So maybe yeah, this dude knows who Nicole is. So it could be that the reason why that she was complaining was because like, wait, Nicole, you're much older than her. You would be the senpai if anyone. Oh, hey, Layla too. Nice. Oh, I can't talk it. Oh, we're going back? Oh, I see. So it was just coming. That's weird, because I could have. Or no, wait. Maybe this is beyond it then. Oops. Yeah, that was. Yeah, this thing. I remember this thing.
準備はいいか。もうすぐ目的地に着くぞ。
こんなに多くの人間が訪ねてくるのは初めてだな。よく見れば見知った顔ばかりだ。
Did we come in here before? When Nefer's Quest came, what was it? When Nefer's Quest was here, I know we talked to Thoth. I don't think we actually came into this mausoleum though. Yeah, I think the whole thing was that we were exploring a ruin, which was off to the side of this mausoleum. So I don't think we actually came into this room. Or maybe we did. Maybe we found another way in from our entry point off to the side. I don't remember that, though. I don't remember seeing something like this when we talked to Thoth before. I guess I could always go back and check my VODs. I have the VODs of it so I could see when we were talking to him. Because we met all three of them. We talked to Thoth and we heard about him arguing with the other two that were trapped in there.
大掛かりな計画とはどれほどのものだ？羊とワニも笑っているぞ。今日はいつもと違う。この笑い声はリル。
笑い死ぬかと思った。長生きはいつの間に閉じ込められたのだ？
言わせておけ。わかっている。そう騒ぐ。お前も王に封印されたのではなかった。
さあな。暇な時にでも我が主かつてあんなに重い罰を執行した連中がね、かけらとなって人間の中に押し込められた者がいればなんと嘆かわしい。囚人の分際でよ。
私だんだんこの魔瓶のマダムが気に入ってきた。
時間がない。古き王たちよ。
Yeah, she does seem to have a similar sense of humor to Nefer.
具体的な協力内容については話せば長くなる。
まあまあワニよ、落ち着け。羊も一緒になって騒ぐな。少しかな。だが本当にお前たちに答えられるのか、ネフェル。まさか時の移。
そんなところだね。あの時あんたは真偽を定めるものはって聞いただろ。詐欺師こそがこの世の真偽を最も見抜ける存在だ。で、そいつらに真偽を明かさせる。
一理あるな。 だからあの時我が輩は面白い答えだと言ったのだ。だが
簡単なことさ。あれはあくまで私の。
お前にはアフマル
時間だよ。それにこれは最後の問いだけじゃなく、万物は時の流れの。
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, because it's like, even if you had a different answer, right? Even if you're like, oh, time is the real answer that Deshret was looking for. It's like, okay, even if that is the answer to the third question, like, you're also, like, Thoth was also assuming that the previous answers to the first two questions were correct. Like, sure, if the only reason why it didn't unlock because of the third answer, then sure, right? Then obviously change the answer and maybe you can have a good go again. But what about the first two answers? Like, there's no way of proving that either one of the first two answers were correct. So, like, you could say, hey, I've given you my third answer, and it doesn't get unlocked. The third answer could have been correct, right? But if either the first or the second answer was wrong, it still wouldn't open because you need all three to be correct. So it's like, so it is a little stupid to kind of blame the person who answers last as the reason why you couldn't get out, because you had no real way of verifying whether any of the answers were correct. And so only after answering all three of them do you at least have the chance to prove whether it was correct. But if it fails, all you know is that these three specific answers in this order, because remember, any one or two of them could have been correct. Only one has to be false for you to remain trapped, you know? So you could actually have two correct answers and just one incorrect one, but you don't know which one is incorrect, and you don't know if any of them are correct, right? Which makes it really hard to actually get out, especially if you can't just have one person answer all of them or continuously give answers over and over and over again. To try to brute force it.
誰もあんた前にキングデシェレトのことをここって言ってたね。ここなや
時間王が R を築いたのも時間を逆行させ、あらゆる聖水愛憎善悪のすべてを。
Oh shit, looks like it was right. So those like pillars gonna fall down and there's gonna be the little gem in the center or something? Oh, they did actually pop out. Oh, that's kinda cool. Is this actually what they look like? Like, do they always look like this, or they... Okay, there's the skin. Huh, interesting. It's hard to tell because we've never really seen like inhuman things, right? Like we've seen in Leeway, we've seen the Senin, who kind of like, you know, well actually I guess they were, but they were just flat out animals, right? You know, Cloud Retainer was a crane, I think a crane. And then she could just, all of them can transform. So they either are full animal or full human. Ganyu is kind of a mix, but that's kind of, but like the mix is incredibly small. Like you'd say, yes, Ganyu is like 99% human, 1% non-human because she just has the horns and that's it. Is there another one? I mean, no, because like Zhao's the Yaksha, so he's not really one of them. And there, and like also, yeah, I guess we don't really know any other Senin besides the main three and Ganyu, because even Ice Shenhe was always human. She was just training under Cloud Retainer.
こうしてみると心臓はそれなりに似ていたようだ。
お三方、
牢獄は人を成長させ、傾聴の精神を学ばせるが、それに伴う苦しみも相当だ。我が輩たちに尽く
Yeah, because their skin seems to match their head to a degree. Because like he has very dark skin, although his blue, his alligator head looks bluish. So I don't know why he's blackish skin instead of blue. Oh, actually, no, wait. I guess he's bluish markings on his shoulders or upper arms. And this one's just like, white. So it doesn't seem to match.
会えて嬉しいぞ、ネフェル。
It does kind of beg the question of what manner of being are they? Like, were they human that have ascended somehow? Were they always non-human? Did they always look like this, Or is this something that happened over time as they ascended to semi-godhood?
自己紹介はせんでええのか？せっかくだししておこうか。僕は沈黙の殿の現首領、セトス。
ああ、どれも初めて聞く言葉ばかりだからな。
Yeah, you can see on his upper arm he has those blue marks, so I guess maybe that's the bluish part of it. But yeah, like the scales of his alligator head look blue, so I'm surprised there's not more blue on him. Although maybe it's going to be like on his back. Maybe the gray is the front, but on his back is like covered with blue scales.
急いで名乗る必要はない。お前たちのことはネフェルから聞かせてもらうとしよう。我が輩が選んだ門弟と話す時のた
まるで頼りない家長のようだ。
Yeah, this is the... Okay, so it's the... Yeah, that's interesting, right? Defeated by King Deshret and brought into but how? Like if he could have once stood among gods, then how did Deshret beat him? Or did he not beat him in a physical confrontation, but a battle of wits, perhaps? And so when he lost to a battle of wits with Deshret, he's like, okay, well, I'm known for my cunning and intellect, and you beat me at it, so then I'll help you out, kind of thing. Now this one makes less sense, because obviously this one does seem like a fighter, if he's the captain of captains. So the only way you could think him actually being beaten is being beaten in combat. So how does a human beat someone who could have once stood amongst the gods? How do you beat someone like that? It'd be like just like a normal person being like Hercules, right? It's like, even if they aren't gods, but they're like demigods, how does a normal person beat that, right? Oh, wait a minute. So yeah, that's one, that's two. There's four. She mentioned that, yeah, so there must be a seventh, and the seventh was completely lost to time. She did allude that there was someone who had not even a fragment of their soul remaining, which presumably is the seventh.
そうか、我が輩はむしろこの時代でも自分の居場所を作れる。
あんたの粘り強さには
お前たちの知恵もまた賞賛に
願い。
これほどの功だ。我が輩たちも
だってさ、大マハマ
担当直入人を今スメールはい
つの時代も最悪は我らと深い関わりがある。
世界中に未知の問題が発生し、その影響を受けた宗神様が昏睡状。
草の竜王、あの草の竜王が宗神様。
それは本当にアペプなのか。あの残虐で凶悪な
魔人を嫌悪していたはずの草の竜王が
Yeah, and so that's the interesting thing. No one, in theory, should know that title. Lesser Lord Kusanali. No one should know that. Because that was the whole thing, is the reason why she was treated poorly is because they just thought of her as a knockoff Dendro Archon. There was the Greater Lord Kusanali, who was the good one, and then when the Greater Lord died, it left behind this tiny little fragment of itself, and so they disdained it for the most part, and didn't really honor it. But with the cleansing of the Ermin Soul, it seemed like Nahida was being more formally recognized by everyone as the proper Dendro Archon, which made me think that that title had been expunged. Although it could be that because they were trapped with the Naru, maybe they were outside of that change when it was happening.
君たちもこ
現状世界中への訪問や接続は不可能だ。だから
残念だが親王が消えた時 R はまだ理想の完成形に至っていなかった。
Well, it doesn't need to be pitted against the Ermin Soul. We just need access to the Ermin Soul. It just needs to establish a connection to the Ermin Soul, and then we can just zip down it.
考古記録によれば R の建造には長い年月を要したものの決して人の力
脅すつもりはないが、俺たちが手段を選ばずにお前は俺たちに願いを尋ねた。ここにいる全員
だそうだぞ、老いぼれたち。
そこまで言われては
無論なんだ。はっきり
無論は君たちは R を解放すると言っていたが、その内部には親王の作った黄金の眠りが保存。
分かっている。
おそらく二度と親王の領域に達する者は現れないだろう。そして二度とあ
あ、人は夢を見る前に
決意は固いようだな。
Oh, I see. They're saying basically, if you do this, you'll basically be destroying the Golden Slumber, the Utopia, which is fine, you know, because it's like his. But what is use of a Utopia that no one can join that is incomplete and broken?
我らの声は汝らを覚醒させる権利を持つ。
Wait, what? Like, those can't be the... There's only one missing 7. Lillipar was one of the 7. Or did all of the 7... And Apep was called one of the 7, so we have 4 of them right here, with the 3 of them in Hermanubis, in Sino and Set. So how are they calling 2 people when there would only be 1 missing 7? Unless they have, like, servants or something.
聖者ベンヌ召喚に応答聖者シェセプランクおやヘリシャフ教お久しぶりですね。
ベンヌ教は相変わらずか。やはり相手が死体だろうと。
アフマルはもういないというのに。
目が覚めたか。今 R を解放し現代のスメール人に改造す。
R はアフマル様の誇りそのもの。解放するには7柱全員の賛成が必要です。私に説得できる理由はありますか?
That makes no sense then. Or despite calling Apep one of the 7, did she not really count? Because if it's 3 of them, those 2, right, that's 5. Hermanubis is the 6. And then Lillipar is one of them, so that'd be 7. And then Apep was supposedly named as one of the pillars. So how the fuck are how the fuck, if there supposedly were 6 accounted for, did you call two new pillars of the 7 to make 8?
スメールは今最悪の真っ只中にある。キングデシュレと神は民なくして存在し得ない。民を庇護すること。
しかしその全員の賛同に何の意味があるんだい？
I mean, who the fuck? Yeah, this makes no sense then. The numbers just don't add up. Either Lillipar is not one of the 7, or Opep isn't. If they're truly considering these to be part of them, and Hermanubis has to be one of them too. Also, it's like mechanical minds. So are they even part of the 7, or are they just the witness to the unanimous consent? Right? Are they the ones that can provide access? And so their only purpose is just to exist here to observe unanimous consent. So as long as we can be like, yeah, we have seen that all of you are in agreement, therefore we shall release access. It could be that. It could be that they are still... It made it seem like they were being called to vote, which doesn't make sense because there's been too many pillars.
NANI?東都の門弟の者が我らに真相を告げた。真偽を問う必要。ヘリシャフ、なんと。私は君のためにかつての盟友を呼び覚まし、君の意見を。
ヘルマヌビスがいた頃が懐かしいね。彼ならこういう時に。
どういう意味だ。我が輩が保証したとこ。
道徳は偽善的だけど、実にユーモアがある。誰もが友達になりたがるはずさ。親王はすでに没しました。多少の越権行為もお許しになられるでしょう。と R が解放されれば、黄金の眠りの中にいる幾千万の魂は地脈に帰ります。そして地脈の流れが再び戻った時、その魂たちは世界樹に入ることになるのです。R の解放は王の完璧な。
ああ、もちろん承知している。それに現代の人間として魂をつなぎ、
王が作り出したものもまた紛れもなく真の安息の地でした。ただ王
ヘルマヌビスの代行者、そして草の竜王アペプは我らに先んじて王の恩恵を賜り。
I mean, isn't this kind of a problem, though? Wasn't the whole purpose, but wasn't the whole point that Irminsul was being flooded by too much information? And now it's like, here, let's dump a bunch of souls into it. I mean, I get it, right? This is something you had to do anyway. Wait, what? Father got stuck in here? Oh, yeah. We know that he died, but yeah, I forgot that. I mean, because he died in one of the pyramids. So I guess they did kind of mention the Golden Slumber, kind of, maybe. Is Jet's father here? Those are the weird things that Jet didn't. Oh, hey. Wait, what? So these are the 7 pillars, then? How does this make... Oh, wait, no, she's not one of them. Okay. Because they say one of the 7... Okay, so Lillipar is the odd man out, then. Lillipar is not considered that. And sealed by some... Okay, so Lillipar is just not... Okay, I thought Lillipar was one of them. But no, it's these 2. So it's these 6 plus Apep. Oh, all the gin. Interesting. Yeah, this is interesting because obviously this one looks very Sphinx-like. So wandering the desert, asking questions. I mean, that's what Sphinxes do: is ask questions, ask riddles. Man, both of them really like Hermanubis. But yeah, it has been a long, long time since I did this world quest. I knew that we went inside. I think we were chasing after somebody, and I think it was that other person who like tried to go into the golden slumber themselves, and Jet's father kind of like got us out of the pyramid while succumbing himself. Because like there was someone else who was trying to break in, and I think we were following them with Jet's father, and then we ended up solving the puzzles. But the guy made it there and sat on the throne first, which may have been, which then I think tried to capture everyone in the structure in the golden slumber. So Jet's father was captured. Okay, so yeah, I forgot about that. Like I knew that he died, but it wasn't like a gruesome death. It was like something where it's like, okay, he's no longer with us, but we never really saw. Because even though you can get back in once you've upgraded your tablet to have more permissions, and you get a trophy for going back to where you were, nothing is there. There's not someone sitting on the throne. There's nothing. So there's no indicator of like what happened.
お前から血と砂の匂いがする。大きく獣のようにたくましく、そして涙を見せない。
もう行っちゃうの？だって
この再会は神の恩寵なのだろう。サミエルと共に囚われていた。
Yeah, Samael is the guy who was also trying to break in there, and he was the one who sat on the throne themselves, which then caused problems.
たとえ一瞬であっても、聖者と死者の再会が許された。それ、ジェイド、俺のために悲しむな。お前なら、俺よりもずっと遠く、高い場所にたどり着ける。俺なんか霞むほどの偉業をなせるはずだ。だから。
父さん。
ジェイド、
大丈夫だよ。ただちょっと私たちのために。父さんは
ジェイド、強く
でしょ。家族、喜び、さよなら。父さん。
どうやら感動の再会があったようだな。少しはいいことをしてやれたということか。
よしあしなど関心と呼ばれる俺たち罪人が判断すべきではない。これは神の意向だが、現世とつながるもんとして形にしたのは人間の手だ。
Oh, interesting. So yeah, they mentioned it was the techniques of the Goddess of Flowers. So I assumed she just imparted her techniques, but maybe it was the Goddess of Flowers herself that made it. Because she was the mother of dreams, so it could be that she made this dream world and then left it to Deshret to try to mold into a utopia.
どのような改造を施すかはお前たちに任せる。だが最も信頼できる学者にやら。
構わん。何せ問題が起きても責任を負うのは時の王だからな。時よ。
こんなことならお前たちを R に閉じ込めた。
お前たちだと。
まったくすぐに私を批判したがるな。それはこれから R の力を借り、親王の霊廟に守りを施す。聞くことをあたわず、見ることをあたわず。この瞬間より
驚いたな。
親王は天に由来する力を持ちながらも、その多くを使わなかった。存分に喜ぶ。
I mean, obviously. Like, just because he did not use it for the purpose, well, yeah, no shit. It's like, that's the whole reason we're here, is we're going to take this technology that was not used in a specific way and change it to be used in a specific way.
さて、これで情報が漏れる心配はなさす。
ああ、すでに連絡して。
Okay. Oh, it's 9. Okay. I saw the X in the I. I thought it was 11. I thought we were at 11. So it's 9 and 10 are the acts then. Wow, this looks really cool. But okay, yeah. It's been about an hour. So okay, cool. So I was able to finish Act 9. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Seems like a good stopping point. I've been walking for an hour. Oh, fuck. Oh, thank God, it's next to a teleporter. I was going to say, like, oh, shit, are they going to... oh, it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. Monday. Roly-poly Monday. Back to doing this. A few days a week. Anyway. So, yeah, that was interesting. That was nice. Meeting Jet's father. I'd forgotten he was trapped in the Golden Dream, because, again, it's been many years. Like, that happened in the first Sumeru Desert. So, first Sumeru Desert area was patch... So 2.0 was Inazuma. So 3.1. 3.1 was the introduction of that first desert area with King Deshret's mausoleum. So when 3.0 first came out, all that existed was just the Sumerian rainforesty areas. That was it. Just the Sumerian rainforest. Then, the first patch, 3.1, introduced that humongous fucking desert. With the huge fucking pillar, the huge fucking pyramid in the center of it. So, and 3.2 introduced the next desert area. Or actually, maybe there's a gap. Maybe there's a gap, and then 3.3 was that. Either way, I forget specifically which patches they were. I don't know. I don't think it was back-to-back new zones. Other than 3.1 was probably the new zone. Actually, or maybe 3.1 was more Archon Quest. Fuck, I can't remember, actually. Shit, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, though. But yeah, so the whole Jet's father thing, that all happened as part of that first desert area thing. So we lost him even then. And then the whole purpose of... and then in the second desert area, that's where we met Jet again. So obviously it was operating under the assumption that you had done the previous world quest. Because without her father, she was looking for a place to live. So she ended up going up, like living with the clan that lived in the second desert area. And that's where we met Lillipar and found the realm of the goddess of flowers. With no one there. It was all like frozen in time and shit. So it's crazy that they're bringing all these references back if you haven't done them. Like, because these are world quests. These weren't Archon quests at all. You didn't have to do any of that first desert area world quest. Like, and then same for the second one. Like, I assume they might have put a requirement that you can't start the second one, the second desert area quest, until you've done the first one. Simply because clearly the second one hinges on you knowing Jet and Jet not having her father. Now, you could make the argument that maybe it still happens anyway. You know, like, oh yeah, like even if you didn't do the first quest, she could still pop up in the second zone. Because it's like, yes, you weren't there. Like, while you might have not done the first world quest, that shit with her father might have still happened, right? There could be an argument like that, where it's like, oh yeah, even though you weren't there for that quest, that stuff, those events still did happen. And so they just continue with the second one. Although Jet does recognize us, so that's like, seems very unlikely that like that she would recognize us. But the only way around it, of course, would be to have her be like, you know, just change your dialogue slightly and be like, oh yeah, I don't recognize you. You know, change your dialogue slightly and just say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Jet. I had this issue with with my father, and now I'm living here. You know, and then just continue from there. I'm not sure. Like, I obviously do things as they come, so I'm not sure how they account for new players who are starting the game brand new, where all the world quests exist simultaneously, right? I do know they have definitely, they definitely do, they definitely do make some things prerequisites, because like they do some quests as prerequisites for like events and other stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, but like I don't have proof, because I did the first desert area world quest before the second desert area came out. So that quest was there, and I already had it unlocked because I had already done that. So I can't prove that there is a check. So that is the interesting thing. So I am kind of curious whether or not. And then for this, like how crazy would it be if they put in a prerequisite for this Archon Quest to do the world quest? Because those world quests are beefy fucking quests. Like, the first one traipses you all around Sumeru. Like, you have to go all around the first Sumerian desert area. You have to go into multiple of the catacombs to slowly unlock the power of your tablet to give you more unrestricted access to the various doors of the place. I think you even unlock the main... You activate the main pyramid to stop the sandstorm. I think that's part of that world quest. And then you end with the final the final pyramid close to the Aru village in the northeastern part of the first desert area map. And that's where Jet's father gets trapped in the golden slumber. But you could only get in there in the first place if you had a certain level of access, and you got that access as you were exploring all the other tombs as well. So you have to do this long thing of like going through all these locations. And if it's brand new, like there's treasure, there's chests, all this stuff to distract you. And then you started the second one, which was also pretty lengthy, because like this was the world quest that was like the main activity for that patch. It was like, yes, here's the world quest. You're gonna meet Lillipar. You're gonna solve the sandstorms in this area. You're gonna fight some of the Fatui. You're gonna finally find the realm of the goddess of flowers, right? Like that was the end of it. And uncover the plot that was happening within the tribe that Jet was, residing in. So like there was a decent chunk of shit, right? Like, so it's not like if it was just quest, if you just purely thought about quest, it might be the same as like an Archon Quest, where it's like, yeah, it's like 2 to 3 hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours perhaps. However, because they're world quests, they're actually taking you all around the zone, and so that travel time and like you getting distracted and solving puzzles and collecting chests and stuff, naturally just drag out that time. So if you were just focused on the quest, you might just like ignore everything, maybe be able to do it in 2 to 3 hours. But for me, it's hard to say, because I went methodically through the land, doing all the chests and puzzles and stuff as I was doing the quest. So I don't know how long it would take if you just dedicated your entire time to it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I will be hopping into Zenless and Arknights again real quick, just to spend my stamina. And then I will continue Digimon Story Time Stranger. I'm right before the end, so now they just dumped a fuckload of side quests on me, so I'm going to do all the side quests first. And the goal will be to finish all of them, and then do the final boss, and beat the boss, and be done with the game, basically. So that is my goal. We'll see how well I do. Like, it's really hard to estimate, because they dumped a shitload of side quests on me, and then they keep having like side quests pop up because I completed side quests. So it's like, oh, I did the side quest, cool. And now it's like, oh, actually, I have a follow-up side quest to this. And so I'm just like, shit. Like, they dumped like 10 on me at first, and then some of them spawned a shitload more. Like, one of them was like, oh, you talk to this guy, and he's like, oh, you need to go find these 10 people. And it's now 10 new side quests to find each one of them. So Might not be super long to do, but then like it's just hard to estimate. But I should be able to finish it today. Like yesterday, I spent 7 hours on it. If I spend 7 hours today as well, I should probably be able to do it. And then I'll be done. One more game that is done. I don't know. Like I'm gonna play the new 007 game when it comes out on Black Friday. So I don't want to start something new. I might go back to Dragon Quest 2. I haven't finished. I think I beat the first final boss. Then there's some extra end game stuff to do as well. So I might go in and start kind of working on that to finish up Dragon Quest 2, because Dragon Quest 2 is almost done. It was just like, I think I beat the first main bad boss, but then there's like a hidden secret boss behind him, and there's like an epilogue whole thing where it's like you do have a lot more stuff and more dungeon stuff. So there were more like end game type activities. So I'll probably want to do those as well. And then, I don't know, I could go back into Borderlands 4. Honestly, I haven't done Mad Ellie in the Vault of the Damned. I haven't done the Stone Demon thing. I haven't leveled up to 60. So like I could do that. The problem is leveling to 60 is still just as boring as leveling for all the other for everything else. Leveling is always involved just doing the vile bounties. So it's just like go to the board, pick up the thing, go do the thing, ad nauseum, and it's so fucking boring. It's just like it's so repetitive and boring. Like I just wish there was like a method. Like, and the problem is, even if there was a better method, like even if there was like a story, like even if it was like, hey, just do the Vault of the Damned, just do all these quests. But the problem is, like, well, if I do these quests and I get rewards for these quests, the rewards will no longer be max level. So it's like it's one of these really annoying things where it's like, shit. Now that there's an increase in level, like. Obviously, I want to get to the next level, but if I do it like, and so like you want to get to the max level first and then do the quest, because any quest rewards will now be at your level. So like it's just kind of like it's just kind of rough, and so I'm kind of waiting for like maybe more to come out, maybe something that's a little. Because it is so insanely repetitive. Because that's exactly what you're supposed to, like, that's what leveling was always. It was like, yeah, you beat the main game, and now it's like, and you're like level 35 to 40, and what do? You did bounties. You did vile bounties until you got to level 50. And then, like, you do the story skip, and you start your character at level 30. Well, what do you do to level up? Well, it's the same thing, bounties. Like, that's it. It's just so the same and boring. And I just did so much of it. I'm just like, it's really hard to get motivated to go back into the game when, like, that's what I have to do to level. Like, there's nothing interesting to do. And even if there was something interesting to do, it's kind of one of those rough things, because, like, if I do the interesting thing, like, because, like, generally, the better way of doing it would be, like, bosses, right? Like, and that's how basically the old games worked, right? In 3, you just farm bosses. You go to Grave Ward, who you can kill pretty easily. You just kill him over and over and over again. You got enough experience from killing him that that's all you needed to do. So it was really simple to do. Just beat one boss that you save quit, and then save quit and do it again. So it like took no time. In fact, more time was spent just loading and loading the game. Save quitting and loading was the biggest time, because normally you'd be able to like burn him down in a few seconds with a good build. So you just do that over and over again. And while it was repetitive, it was also super easy and efficient. And you also got loot drops from it. Whereas like Val bounties do give you loot drops. Like you definitely can get legendaries, but it's just like you have to find them. One, they don't always drop, and then they are kind of annoying to get to. They're kind of annoying to fight, and then you have to run back. And the bounties don't refresh, so you have to either go to another board to get another one, which is now in a new location, which you have to now get to. So it's just the travel time of getting to the new location, checking to see if the bounty board has one of the ones you want, getting it, then going to the location where you need to go to, then killing the thing, and then finding another, and then going to another location. There's just too much tediousness to it that makes it not fun, right? If it was like, oh, you pick up a bounty and he's like literally right outside that place, that would be fine. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I picked it up from here, and he's within 100 feet. I just leave and go in this direction for 100 feet. There he is. Cool. Kill him, and then move to the next location. But no, it's a good like minute or two to actually like travel to the location where he's at. Um, and then, yeah, it's just not fun. Not, it's just there's too much tediousness to it that makes it not as enjoyable. And it's not like fun like bosses where you can like try to do better and better at the boss and be like, okay, how can I improve my build? How can I beat him faster? How can I like develop my skills better? It's nothing like that because you're just like because you know yeah, and Val bounties are kind of annoying too, just with the yeah, it's just not fun. And so just thinking I have to do that is just like I do. I mean, I do kind of want to go back in anyway because there's the bounty card too, and I fully unlocked everything from the first bounty card. So I kind of want to do it again before a new one comes out because that's basically what happened in Borderlands 3. Is I never played the game. Like basically, I beat the game and I did all the content, and then they started introducing the bounty card system, like when they introduced the battle royale area or the arms race. But by that point, like it was not story content. There's no new story content after that, so I didn't really come back for that. It was mostly like I'd play every now and then with a friend while we replayed old story missions. And so I have some of the cards unlocked, but because I played so infrequently, I have a few things from each card unlocked. So like because it was like, oh, okay, by the time I unlocked a few things from one thing, another card came out, so I got a few things from that card, and then another card came out, and so I have like a third of the things from each of the cards, but not, and maybe for some of the super good things too. Like made sure I got the Schlitter and all that. So this time I was like, okay, well they introduced the card almost immediately, so I was like, okay, let's clear that out. So I was like popping in daily and doing all that shit. So I guess maybe I should just do that, like kind of get in the habit of popping in daily again. Oh, yeah. But like, there's also Final Fantasy. Like, I'm kind of getting back into that. Doing some of the grinds there. I've almost gotten all the relic weapons. For the crafting, I have all the relic weapons for crafting. I just need to get the 2 gathering ones. The final steps for the 2 gathering ones. And then with the ultimate that comes out in like a week, I believe they're also introducing a new Occult Crescent, which means new Fork Tower, so that means I have to get back into Occult Crescent, start grinding that, and then finding runs to do the new Fork Tower, so... so much stuff to do, and it's like... Borderlands is just like, eh. Maybe if there's more story, like there was some more story content. I heard also like Ellie and the Vault of the Damned is also pretty short too. So it's like even if I go back into doing that, even if I go back in and do the grind, like I could probably do the bounty pack and Ellie in like one day. So it's like, you know, maybe if there was going to be a long involved thing, I would be more motivated. If it was like, oh, this is a really cool thing. But yeah, and also the fact that I have to grind levels. It's like, grinding levels was never fun. I hated grinding levels. In fact, that's why I don't even have... the only max level character is just the one. Because just trying to grind levels for my other characters is so fucking boring. And so much more tedious. Because they're not max level. They don't have a max level weapon. They don't have a good build. So it just makes it harder for them to beat the Vile Bounty in the first place. So it just everything about it is just so tedious. It's just so boring and tedious, and just like, and then for the other characters, it's like, yeah, I'm playing a character I'm not super familiar with. I don't have all the good weapons that my main character has. I'm much lower level, so I don't have all the skill points they have. And now I have to do these things where I now have to travel, and traveling's more annoying because I guess now they have more cross progression between characters, so that's fine. But like before, it was like you had to then travel places you've never been to before, so you actually had to do even longer travel to unlock the waypoints for some stuff. It was just like, oh my god, it was so fucking tedious. So it's like, yeah, like the only characters I have a few characters that are at like level 30-ish, but because I was trying other characters, but like I don't have anyone near. I don't even have a single other character that's level 40 because of how boring it is to level and how tedious it is to level. It's just like, oh my god, I just don't want to do that. But anyway. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I will be back on later to play more Digimon Story, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.